name's Sulema. I am a nutrition coach and a personal trainer, and in today's video I'm going to show you exactly how I grew my glutes. If you watched my previous video on my fitness journey, you've seen that I have gone up and down with my weight so many times. So what I noticed was that when I was heavier, I had bigger glutes, and when I was leaner, I lost my glutes. And the reason was because my glutes were filled with fat. So of course, when I would lose the fat, I would also lose it in my glutes, and I was not happy. So I wanted what tons of other women want, which is a small waist and full glutes. And how in the world do you achieve this? That's the $1,000,000 question. And the answer is muscle. You can build your glutes with muscle. You just have to be willing to put in the work, be patient, and be consistent, but it's definitely possible. So in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly what I did with my nutrition and my training in order to achieve this goal. So if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and let's get to it. I have been weightlifting for about 4 to 5 years now. So I have only been training glutes for like about 1.5 years. Before that, I always just figured that when I hit my legs, I was also hitting my glutes. I kind of just thought of glutes kind of like boobs, like you're kind of just bored with what you got, and if you don't like your size, you can get plastic surgery or something, but it is what it is, you know? And so, but then one day I was thinking about it and I was like, wait a minute, if you can grow your biceps, you can grow your triceps, you can grow your hamstrings and your quads, and of course you can grow your glutes. Your glutes are a muscle, duh. So this is when I began to just focus my training and my nutrition on only glutes. Now I felt like I wanted to do this video until like 2 to 3 more years from now, because I'm not where I want to be for my glutes. But then I thought, you know what the heck? I am in love with the progress that I have made so far, and I'm really happy. And I want to share my knowledge with you so that you can start on your glute journey. And maybe in a couple years, I'll just do an updated video on see if I change anything or something. I don't know. We'll worry about it when the time comes. So I'm going to talk about both training and nutrition. I say we start with nutrition. So as far as my nutrition went, basically I had to go into this bulking phase. Now this was definitely scary because in fitness, you're always just trying to be shredded and lean. And then I had been trying to lose weight for years now. And so the thought of like having to do a bulking phase was kind of overwhelming. But you know, if you're doing it nice and controlled, you're only gonna gain the weight that you need to in order to achieve that muscle growth that you're working to achieve. Now, a little side note here, it is possible to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. However, it's only in certain situations. So one of these would be like if you're a newbie at the gym and you haven't been like training or dieting, and then you decide to start weight training consistently and you start a new nutrition program, your body is going to react so well to all these changes, that to the point that you are going to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. And it's a wonderful, wonderful time. But if you've been training for a while now, you kind of usually have to choose if you want to either gain muscle, if you want to, so like go on a bulking phase, if you want to cut, or if you want to maintain. And you kind of have to choose because you have to prioritize one in order to achieve that goal the fastest and most efficient way possible. So I chose my bulking because I wanted to grow my glutes. And I did this controlled. This doesn't mean I went to go and fill myself with a bunch of junk food and just went to town on everything. It would have been awesome, but I didn't. You have to fill your food up with nutrient-dense quality food. Now with me, at the time that I decided to go into a bulking phase, I had just finished a cutting phase. So I can't just jump from cutting to bulking. Like, your body's so used to running on such low calories, you can't just feed it a bunch of bulking calories and expect it to react well. This is a recipe for disaster. You have to reverse diet your way back up to maintenance calories slowly, and then you can go up to your bulking calories. So what I did was I was increasing my calories by about 80 calories per week, and I would mostly add these calories into my macro numbers by adding them into my carbs. So once my carbs got to about 150 grams, I started adding them to my fats. And this is just because from tracking macros for a while, I just know that my body reacts better to carbs and to fats. I would monitor my weights. If I would go up more than a pound in a week, then I would keep those same numbers until the following week. And then once I saw my weight steady, then I would increase it again. I did this until I finally got up to 1,800 calories, which then that ended up being like my maintenance numbers. And so once I got up to maintenance, I kept increasing my calories by 50 every week as I transitioned into the bulking phase, and I would alternate from putting them into my fats, my carbs, my fats, my carbs, until I got up to about 2,400 calories. And that for me, I'm not a big person, I'm only 5'3", so for me that made a significant change. So I stayed here until I plateaued, and then by this time I had been doing this for about a year, and in total I gained about 15 pounds. So when I started this, I was at 115 pounds, and by the end of it, I was 130 pounds. So I personally feel like many people in fitness are scared to do a bulk for too long of a time because we all want to be shredded and lean. But to me, this didn't really make sense to only do a bulk for like 3 months and then cut down, unless you're trying to compete, you just want to put in like a tiny bit of muscle before your next show or something. But I just don't really see the point of that as far as like my goals went, because you would bulk and you get into this optimal muscle building phase, and then you get there to like, you just got to the party, you know, and then now you're gonna leave because you're gonna cut down and you're gonna lose the muscle that you built in that short amount of time. So for me, it just made more sense to do this bulking phase, embrace it, be happy, rock the curves, and just be in this phase for about a year instead of like bulking cutting. So I just decided to just get it all over with in a year, and then I would worry about cutting down. But again, I did this controlled. I was keeping track of everything the entire time. I also want to note that my calories most of the time were filled with nutrient dense food. So I wouldn't just, fill it with random junk food. Junk food is great, but it doesn't make me feel the best. So I still wanted to take advantage of all the extra calories to really put a lot of strength into all my workouts. When I eat nutrient dense food, I feel way more happier. I feel more energized, I feel stronger, and I could even think clearer. So with all these different hats that I wear on my day-to-day life, eating nutritious food is definitely a priority. Now, you may be wondering, what the heck is Sulema talking about? I am so confused. She's speaking gibberish. So if you don't understand, there's something there, sorry. So if you don't understand any like the macro things that I just mentioned or anything, and you're a complete beginner, I would just focus on eating good, nutritious food. Make sure that you're not following some diet that eliminates every food. Make sure that you're eating your fats, your carbs, and your protein, and that you get yourself into a training routine. If you're more advanced and you've been tracking for a while and you're trying to figure out, okay, what do I do next? You need to figure out where you're at exactly. Are you in a cutting phase? Are you in a bulking phase? Are you in maintenance? And what are your goals? And then from there, you'll be able to come up with a plan to achieve those goals. So if you feel like you need some guidance and you need some extra help, I do have a special for nutrition coaching going on until June 30th. I'm doing 6-week programs, so if you're interested, just email me at sulema@fitbum.us, or you can DM me on my Instagram, which is sulema_fitbum. I'll put both of those right here. Yes, so let's move on to training. I would train glutes like 3 to 4 times a week. I know it may seem a little excessive as opposed to typical bro science that usually they say that you can train a body part like 2 to 3 times a week. Other than that, you're gonna cause overtraining, which instead of building your muscle, you're gonna be breaking it down too much to the point that it's not gonna grow. But let's dive in a little deep here and let me explain why I would do this. So let's start by talking about the glute muscle. So there's the gluteus maximus and the medius. These are the most external part of the glute muscles. So the gluteus maximus is the biggest muscle, and it's about 50-50. So half of it is fast twitch muscle fibers and the other half would be slow twitch muscle fibers. The gluteus medius is it's slightly more slow twitch muscle fibers, and then the rest is fast twitch muscle fibers. So the gluteus medius is kind of what gives you that shelf booty. It's like the outside part of the glutes too that gives you more hips. So by keeping this in mind, let's talk about some of the research that Brett Contreras has as far as training frequency for the glutes go. In one of his papers, Brett Contreras talks about how different glute exercises target different muscle fibers in our glutes. So with this, he categorizes the exercises into 3 different categories. There's the stretchers, the activators, and the pumpers. So stretchers are things like the Romanian deadlift, the squats. Activators would be things like the hip thrust or a cable pull through, and pumpers are things like the banded crop walks and those the frog pumps. So each one of these exercises, they all take different amounts of times to recover. So stretchers take about 3 to 4 days to recover, activators take about 2 to 3 days to recover, and pumpers take about 1 to 2 days to recover. So think about this. If your ultimate goal is to grow your glutes, and one day you hit your stretchers, your activators, your pumpers. So say you do your squats, your hip thrusts, and some froggy pumps. Now, why would you wait 4 days to do your squats, your hip thrusts, and your froggy pumps again if your glutes were already ready to perform hip thrusts and froggy pumps 2 days ago? So you could have actually squeezed in more hip thrusts and frog pumps in the middle of the week before you even did your squats, activators, your squats, your hip thrusts, and your froggy pumps again. So because each exercise works different muscle fibers in the glutes, you're able to achieve more training frequency because you're targeting different parts of the glutes without overtraining them. Remember, the glutes are such a huge muscle. There's different parts to it. So by taking all this information into consideration, I came up with my own programming for my glutes. And I followed my program to the T. And it was really interesting to see how much stronger I would get and how my glutes were changing. And so I would probably end up hitting glutes probably like 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes even 5. And I would do this for 3 months straight. And afterwards, I would take a 2-month time where I would only hit glutes twice a week. And the reason I did this is because our bodies are really smart. So you are going to adapt to the exercise that you're doing, so you need to switch it up. So I would take those 2 months and I would hit my glutes hard for those like 2 days. And then after those 2 months, I would go back to training glutes 3 to 4 times a week. And when I did that for the next 3 months, my body responded really well. Like it feels like the first time I ever did that. If you're confused right now and don't even know where to start, and maybe you're just new at training in general, I think that you should focus on learning how to do a hip thrust, some deadlifts, and squats, learning how to do this properly, and then just focus on a few exercises at a time and take your time with it. Really learn how your body reacts to these exercises, and then you can start getting more and more deep into your training program. If you're someone that has already been training for a while and you're ready to try this, take this information here that I shared with you and even check out the research paper that I linked below and come up with your own training program, and I promise you're gonna love the results. So if you feel like you need extra assistance in coming up with your nutrition and your training programming to grow your glutes, lucky for you, starting July 1st, I'm doing an 8-week program and where I'm gonna help you with your nutrition and your training, all targeted toward growing your glutes. So if you're interested and you'd like to know more information, you can email me at sulema@fitbum.us, or you can send me a DM on my Instagram to sulema_fitbum. Last note in this video, I'm gonna change gears here a little bit, get a little bit cheesy, but I really feel like it's important, especially in the fitness industry. So I know this video is about growing your glutes, but I want you to come from a good place when you start training your glutes. Bodybuilding should be fun, and it shouldn't be about body shaming and hating yourself and thinking I'm not gonna be happy until I have a small waist and abs and junior glutes. It's not about that. So you should be coming from a good place. So learn how to love your body, and because you love it, because you love yourself, you want to enhance certain things and you want to just better yourself and improve. So you do this with training and nutrition But thinking about it that way, in a good way, it's gonna make this process a lot more fun than if you're just comparing yourself to whatever person on Instagram or any other fitness model. You're thinking, I want those glutes. Like, you're not gonna have those glutes because you have your own body. So envision yourself, like how you want to be for you. So I hope that makes sense. And I just feel like sometimes in fitness, things can get really, how do I explain it? I guess it can be a little toxic because then people just kind of feel down on themselves, and that's not what I'm trying to do here. So I hope that you can enjoy this process and come from a good place. So enough rambling on about self-love. Thank you all for watching this video. And as always, I hope you found this information useful. Thank you for supporting my little channel here, and I'll catch you guys next time.